Okay, class, four more examples now of humor in music. Um, we will start with the polka from the Age of Gold ballet by a Russian composer, 20th century composer known as Dmitri Shostakovich. Shostakovich wrote a number of symphonies using the forms of the classical Western European style, um, but also wrote a lot of program music and music for different kinds of genres. And boy, I tell you, when this polka from the Age of Gold ballet is so much fun to listen to. I love listening to this one, and I purposely chose one that had a scratchy record, and you'll hear it. It's just a scratchy, old-timey kind of sound. It may not even mean anything to you, but it makes me really feel like it's kind of, you know, a treasure from the past. But in this particular piece, the polka, which is just a kind of a duple dance, I think polka is Polish, if I'm not mistaken. But in any event, he uses a wrong note in almost every measure, it feels like. There are absurd tunes with disjunct notes going in every direction. I use that word disjunct and it may sound a little bit large, but it just means that there's so many leaps and high um, pitches that just go from high and low very quickly instead of the smooth kind of note to note, step by step motion you hear in uh, more serious music. Also, there's cuckoo notes. You know, the bird and the sounds of the cuckoo. They're imitated often by instruments in classical music, and this is a perfect example. You'll hear some of the highest and lowest instruments, for instance, the piccolo, the highest woodwind, and the tuba, the lowest brass, doing these cuckoo notes, along with the xylophone, is kind of a bell-like percussion instrument. Combine all of these together, and it's just a very fun piece. I hope you enjoy it. There are even allusions of a car horn in this piece. So take a listen to the polka from Shostakovich's Age of Gold ballet. After that one, we will hear um, music for theater, actually, by Aaron Copland, an American composer of the 20th century. Lived from about 1900 to 1990, I believe. Um, Another New Yorker, I believe Brooklyn. He studied in Paris with a great composer teacher by the name of Nadia Boulanger. And she encouraged him and other composers. You know, there was a time that Americans were going to Europe to learn more about the classical style and try to imitate that style. And But she encouraged American composers to find their own voice and to use the music that was already here. Much of that music coming from African Americans, maybe some coming from Native Americans, and use that music to come up with a new sound of classical music. And in burlesque, you will hear this along with um, the one of the reasons why I chose this because there's a lot of humor in it. There is this juxtaposition of this jazzy swing sound with this very fast, frolicking levity that you hear at the very beginning. And so the composer destroys the total feeling of balance and symmetry by playing with rhythms, phrase lengths, and the use of rests. You know, just silence. You know, when you don't expect silence because you think you're hearing music and all of a sudden there's nothing, that can be a little bit jarring. There are also a number of rude noises made by the low strings, trombones, and bassoons. So enjoy the burlesque by Aaron Copland. And you'll see the link for that on the Moodle page as well. All right, moving on. Two final examples of humorous music. The Sorcerer's Apprentice by Paul Dukas. The principal theme of this famous work employs the bassoon's timbre and range for an unusual effect, and other aspects include the light-hearted melody, scherzo-like rhythm. When I say scherzo, it means playful. The literal meaning of the word scherzo is joke. And this definitely is in triple meter, although it's a fast triple meter. I've chosen a link for you that uses the Sorcerer's Apprentice theme and the cartoon Mickey Mouse. So you'll be seeing this cartoon. Please try to focus on the music. There's a lot of great music, and you can watch it over a couple of times. Um, and it is a little bit long, but I think you'll be able to listen to it because of the cartoon. The effects of what I'm talking about, you should experience in the first 2 or 3 minutes of this Scherzo-like theme, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And finally, we come to the the Afro-American Symphony by Afro-American composer William Grant Still, who was the first African American to have his piece played by an orchestra in the United States um, uh, that wasn't of European background or American background. He really broke a lot of the barriers. He, along with other composers like Florence Price and William Dawson. Anyway, the Afro-American Symphony is in 4 movements and starts with the basic styles of, the fast movement and then a slow movement. But this third movement, instead of using what would normally be a triple meter and a light dance like a minuet, this third movement is marked animato and subtitled humor. And it probably refers to the happy-go-lucky quality of the music as well as the appearance of an unconventional instrument as a member of the orchestra, the banjo. Have you ever thought of a banjo? You think of a banjo for country music, don't you? Or for music of a light-hearted nature. But it is all through this movement. This movement's about 3 minutes long. So it starts with the main hallelujah motive of these 4 notes that you will hear and the composer himself identified it as the Hallelujah motive. And then you'll hear contrasting themes. The brass comes in with a really bold, bluesy theme to contrast the opening Hallelujah motive. And it ends with a big flourish and triumphant sound at the end. So there are 7 great examples of humor in music, and I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you find levity and frivolity and some joy as we wrap up the semester in ICA as far as the music portion is concerned. Thank you.